Hello, my Cancer friends. It's Guiding Halo. This is going to be an end of July reading as to what Spirit's trying to communicate to you. We'll see what comes out, whether it's love, business, finance. This is a general thing, so whatever comes out, comes out. What's Spirit trying to communicate to you, my Cancer friends? What is Spirit trying to communicate to you? First card out is Ace of Air. Brilliant new ideas, inspiration, seeing the truth of a situation, a challenging beginning. Someone's been feeling left out in the cold, feeling like no one cares about you, feeling like you try and nothing ever comes to fruition. And then we have the Devil card, which is all about karmic ties, perhaps, to a soulmate or someone that you care about. This could also be, it's something that you need to figure out from the past that's happened to you, perhaps. Going inward to find clarity on the situation. Could have been dealing with a Virgo at the time, or Capricorn. There's the King of Swords. Somebody who's very concerned about fairness and justice and balance, and perhaps you feel like you've been dealt with unjustly. But there is going to be the end of a phase in your life and start of a new one. Perhaps it's the start of you coming in to speak your truth in certain circumstances and situations. These are my new postcards from Spirit. I love them. Let's see what the Divine wants you guys to know for today, shall we? Right here? Okay, got this one for you guys. All right, and let's get one of these cards. Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. I call it Baron Reed. I have got small hands and all these cards are big, so it takes a little time to shuffle them. All right. So first off here, this brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing the truth of a situation, a challenging beginning. Perhaps this beginning, starting out on your own here after something's really gone in a rough way for you. It's definitely caused you to go inward. Something left you feeling lack of love, lack of finances, lack of happiness due to a possible addiction or somebody that left you. Perhaps you thought you had support for this addiction and someone came in and was great initially and said they supported you and they understood, but then couldn't continue, couldn't toe the line for you, couldn't help you through it because they realized that it wasn't about them helping anybody and they realized it wasn't okay, so they had to go. Sorry, I've got a rough throat today. So with this addiction or whatever was going on, it's possible, like I said before, it was a Capricorn or Virgo, possibly, that walked away. But if this is addiction for you, with it came love. So in some way, shape, or form, love came here, and someone, I think you thought you had the love and the support and the understanding that you needed, but you saw the truth of the situation. In fact, I think you were forced to see the truth of the situation. And I think the both of you in this scenario very possibly held on for a very long time, past expiry date even. But I see here that a truth needs to be spoken about this, and perhaps you'll get that through this message, or perhaps somebody needs to speak up or see the truth of their actions and what happened and what was caused in the circumstance. This love that you thought you had, even though there was this addiction going on, obviously it was not a stable scenario, because in addiction, the only love that can be found is with the addiction. So somebody that has an addiction to this extent, where this card comes up, between left out in the cold and love, like there is a battle here for this person between their addiction and whether they're going to step into love again or stay left out in the cold, because this addiction is really, it's what you love. So being this addiction is what you love, or this energy, this whatever is what you love, you know it could either leave you out in the cold or you could have love for a while. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to fix the addiction and love in a whole complete way? Or are you going to lose resistance to the addiction? People have addictions because they have point A and point B and they don't know how to get there a lot of times. And the only thing to satiate the discomfort you feel and the pain that you feel in not knowing how to get there is to bury your emotions in so many different things that, like, it leaves you all upside down, really. So we have the Hermit here, going inward to find the truth, to figure out what it is for you that you want, what it is you desire, what's going to bring you full fruition of your dreams, which way to head forward after your heart's been hurt. But you have hope. You've got hope in your little lantern there, the star of hope, moving forward. Perhaps you've wished you could move forward from this addiction and this situationship in for a very long time and in a very fierce way. But I think in order to do so, you're going to have to cut out some BS here. Things need to be fair, just, and balanced on all sides of the fence. And if you're dealing with someone in this scenario, my friends, yeah, you need to cut it out. It needs to stop. You know what's going on here. This energy that's between the left out and the cold and the relationship, it needs to stop. And it's fair and just balance. It's time. It's time. The divine here saying it's time. You can't have love all the time. You can't feel left out in the cold all the time. So there has to be a balance in some way, shape, or form brought here. There has to be. It's the way it works. That's what we're all here for this journey for, is to bring balance. So if we're all on this journey to bring balance to our lives, to figure out the truth of who we came here as, truth of who we came here to be, then we need to cut out the crap in our lives that no longer serves us. Now, I know that's a phrase that's been used a lot, but I have to tell you, a lot of times we believe addiction serves us because we don't know how to get from point A to point B without satiating ourselves in the middle of the process, because it's intense and it's painful. And so cutting out what no longer serves you, you can say, we all know, and realistically, that addiction doesn't serve anybody. But the reality is everybody has something, whether it's money, whether it's work, whether it's love, whether it's truth, anything that you use on a scale that's not 100% balanced in your life, someone can call addiction. Okay, that's why people's addictions change over time too, right? So it could be food addiction, could be drugs, sex, rock and roll, alcohol, I don't know, whatever. You know, take your pick. There's many out there. But until we find balance in our shadow side, which is the addiction side, we find balance there. And until we find balance in our light side, we are never going to come to that place of knowledge and understanding. And I want you guys to know that delving into your shadow side, whatever it is that's been toxic for you, is a healthy thing. It's not great. It's not fun. It leaves you out in the cold a lot of times. It leaves you with lack of love. But I'm telling you, it's entirely necessary. I believe the divine has you at the perfect place in your life right now to hear this message so that you can move forward from this point on to point B with a whole lot more ease. A whole lot more ease. And the fact that you're watching these videos tells me already that you want to be spiritually enlightened. It tells me that you already want to have this communicado thing going on with the divine. You want to hear from them. You want to come out of shadow energy. You want to be able to do this. You're just not exactly sure how to move forward. You're not sure how to embrace shadow side and light side. You're not sure how to get from point A to point B without causing destruction in your life in the process. And when you go through all of this, it's the divine trying to teach you how to become this king, how to become this king of swords, that you do your homework, you do the necessary work, you figure it all out. This dude doesn't wield his sword without absolute understanding of what's going on. You get to the point, it's like, well, now I get it. Now I understand. Now I can move forward. And that's when that King of Swords grabs his sword and cuts out the BS. That's when he does that. I see the end of this phase happening for you guys. I do. And it may take some time. It could be in 2021. Okay, it could be from 2019 to 2021. You're working on getting yourself, building yourself back up, or even getting out of this karmic shadow side work that you've been dealing with. And you're like, when is it just going to end? When am I going to have the capacity to move forward and to end this nonsense? That's what I get. I hear someone saying. I think you have a brilliant new idea coming and an inspiration on how to end it. And there's seeing the truth of a situation, something that really needs to be dealt with. And the challenging beginning is you always have a challenging beginning after dealing with destruction and dealing with shadow work. You always have a challenging beginning, because stepping out of that is tiresome. It's tiresome. Sometimes you have to get tired enough to step out of it, but stepping out of it can be a huge fight and a battle with your soul, with your own soul, and the energy that you're connected to within, from past lives, from this life, from whatever you've agreed to go through in this cycle with the divine. Now, here's a message to you from Spirit, okay? It says, "Dearest you, we're a chatty bunch over here, always talking about how to support you in your life's journey. We communicate to you through the language of oracles, dreams, sign, metaphors, and omens. In your life on Earth, however, clarity in your communication is essential to being understood. You don't speak in symbols, and if you did, you would definitely confuse things. Right now, you're facing a situation in which you're being asked to have integrity. Be clear and learn how to ask for your needs to be met. The first step is to admit out loud that you have needs. The second is to ask out loud for them to be met. And the third is to allow the other person, organization, or even us to answer you. When you follow these steps, you can most definitely expect an answer in your favor Affirmative, we say, loving you so very much. Well, there, my friends, is your point A to point B and how you get there. 3 steps into how you get there is to asking the divine for what you need, asking the people around you for the support you need, asking for help. Maybe that's been your addictive thing. Maybe you've got something going on, but your addictive thing is actually not stepping outside of yourself to ask for help. And the oracle card we have here is the Lady of the Mirror. Let's read it. Number 44. Look at that. I turned right to it. That's so cool. Let's just go one over here. Nope, that's not the right one. Sorry. I guess it is. The Lady of the Mirror, number 44. Reflection and non-judgment. But it's not showing this one as I see what's going on. That was page 44 I turned to. Well, that was rather synchronistic, hey? So 4s are going to be a big deal for you guys. I would definitely look up what 4s mean and perhaps find some enlightenment from the divine also based in the number 4. Lady of the Mirror is both ally and challenger, asking you to see yourself in the mirror made by the events in your life. She represents the powerful force of the law of attraction and reminds you that what you are is what you attract. Truth over shadow work, love, finding yourself, speaking that said truth, understanding you can come out from the cold. You don't have to have this battle in love or anything like that anymore. And it's the end of a phase and start of a new one. This isn't to say that you need to blame yourself for inviting transgression, or if you find yourself a victim of a big picture event, say a war. This is a distorted interpretation of this law. Certain events are fated to test our faith. Rather, find yourself within the web woven through your life, your relationships, opportunities, desires, seeming failures, and successes. Observe how you've responded to life's challenges, great and small, and be aware of what is familiar in the present. Release all judgment and accept things exactly as they are with love. What was I saying, you guys? What was I saying? You are in the perfect moment, at the perfect place, at the perfect time for the divine to come in and teach you what you need to learn. Everything has brought you straight to where you are right now, and it's beautiful. It's painful, yes, I get it and I understand, but it's still beautiful because on the other side of it, the divine knows who you are. The divine knows what you are capable of. They don't sit here holding a lord over you and saying, you know, dude, get this crap together or blah, blah, blah. The divine loves you. And maybe it's time for you to step into the love that you know the divine knows you to be, perhaps. The Lady of the Mirror asks that you honor every part of your story as essential to your highest unfolding. Can you see yourself as being exactly where you need to be on your path? Do you love what you see in the mirror? Can you perceive your part in your reactions and the motives behind your current inquiry? You will find your answer in a thorough and honest self-appraisal. So the reality is, if you want to let go of stress, you want to let go of worry, you want to let go of all of these things in your life, a favorable assessment of the facts is needed. And sometimes we have to go stand and look in front of the mirror and accept our own crap before we can move forward and have beauty come into our life and also bring the beauty that we are forward through the darkness. I don't know if this will resonate with many, but it's a very important message that needed to be spoken. I hope to talk to you guys again soon. This is what Spirit's trying to communicate with you at the end of July. Blessings.